Meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Okay, thank you all for being here. We'll start with personal appearances. And if there are none, we'll skip right to junior golf. Hey, everybody. My name is Erica, and we are here on behalf of the Minot Junior Golf Association to discuss a project we've been exploring at the Wee Links. We first want to just say thank you to Minot Parks for being a great partner. Our course is we're all proud of, and we've about you. So we are looking at a shelter. We've had increased programming just over the last couple years at the Wee Links, and we found a need for a shelter outside of our clubhouse to give us some shade, a spot in case there's inclement weather, and just like a gathering space for all of our kids and parents. The clubhouse is definitely sufficient for what we need it for now, but a little bit more outside space is would be great. So what we're asking today is permission to put this out to bid. We've been working with Ackerman Esfold to establish a plan that encompasses all our wants and needs. And Minot Junior Golf is prepared to cover all costs for the project. We are just asking approval from the park board to get this out to bid. Our goal is to open bids in early March, and then we would like to see construction happen in September after the Wee Links closes for the season, and then hopefully it will be in use next spring. So I'm just going to go through a couple high points on the plans. What you can see right now is just an elevation of the structure. So this is going to go to the northeast of the current clubhouse. It will match the clubhouse style with the roof structure and the materials, so it's just going to be a really nice cohesive look. And then I'll go down to the plan set. Hopefully these are okay to see. So what you can see here is, this is the current clubhouse, that little white box, if you guys can see that okay. Right there would be the clubhouse, and then the new shelter is going to be just up here to the northeast. I apologize, it's kind of light, but we will also be adding some concrete, so you'll have a foundation of concrete underneath the shelter, and the concrete will extend kind of here. You can see this little curve on the side is the existing concrete that sits outside of the front of the building. And then what we're also looking at is adding some more sidewalk. So sorry, the mouse. Maybe this will work better. It's kind of delayed.
Cal might be able to, are you trying to scroll down to the next slide?
No, just kind of show. So okay. This would be sidewalk. Right now, this is kind of our existing sidewalk when you come over the hill from the parking lot. And then the sidewalk, kind of where the arrow is right now, would lead you over to the new path for the existing shelter. So shelter sits here where that red arrow is, and then we're adding a little bit more sidewalk for accessibility. Right now, that's a path that people use off of the existing sidewalk, and they just trample the grass, and it's just a dirt path kind of almost. So adding that, and then another thing we're planning on doing with this project is right here, that where the arrow shows, that's the existing signage that says "Welcome to Wee Links." There's some landscaping and all that stuff. That was, used to be the nice inviting entrance with the old parking lot location. And so now with the new parking lot location post-flood, people are coming from this area right here. So our hope is to relocate the signage to right here where the arrow is showing, so that when people come up from the parking lot, they'll see that "Welcome to Wee Links," they'll know where they are. And then we're also looking to add some new bollards to have the chain that we put on that sidewalk in case the Wheelings is closed. Right now, there's just some kind of creepy little fence posts. So just more aesthetic, safer, just a better solution there. So a little bit of landscaping will be done, as well as quite a bit of concrete, and then the shelter. And the other part that we would like to add is we've got the restrooms on this side of the clubhouse, and we'd like to add a little bit of a privacy fence in front there just to block the restrooms from that walking path view and allow us to keep those unlocked during events. So I'll just scroll through here to a couple. This is all the little construction details. But just to see the plan. Let me zoom in maybe.
It's going to be connected, Erica?
It will be connected, yeah. So this would be the clubhouse, and then the shelter would be right here, and then there's a little roof structure right here so that they're connected. And then we'd also like to add, or we're planning to add, lighting and electrical and then speakers so that we can make announcements out to the course for purposes, emergencies, and just general course announcements. So I think that's all I have. I had some notes to keep me collected, but I didn't look. So if you guys have questions or if you anything was unclear, just let me know.
Anyone have questions, comments?
To correct you, you said that the park district is a great partner of you guys. I think it's the other way around. I mean, it's both, but what junior golf does for the community is spectacular. So I think sitting up here for a while and being able to see that firsthand, really cool what you guys do. This is awesome. I'd move approval of this.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Okay. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Erica. And then we are going to skip through. We have another guest online. Canopy is going to present strategic plan, I guess, for the zoo. Go ahead.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Hi, it's nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me today. My name is Elise Bernardoni, and I'm the Director of Engagement with Canopy Strategic Partners. I do have a slide presentation, so give me just one moment to put this up, and then I will be happy to walk you through the great work that this amazing team has been doing over the past several months. So unfortunately, wait, hang on one moment. I was going to say, unfortunately, I cannot see y'all, but I just found where you are. So I can see you, and I can also see my presentation. Ellie, can you see the presentation as well?
Yep.
Great. And are you seeing the closed captioning?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now you don't see me and hear me at the same time. Great. So again, my name is Elise Bernardoni. I'm the Director of Engagement with Canopy Strategic Partners. And let me just start by saying what an absolute pleasure it has been to work with the Roosevelt Park Zoo team. They're just dynamite. So very briefly, Canopy is a planning firm that's really dedicated to working with mission-driven organizations such as zoos, aquariums, botanical parks, and science centers. Prior to joining Canopy, I spent 15 years at the nonprofit support organization for Smithsonian's National Zoo. So I'm very familiar working with an organization that is managed by a federal institution, but has a nonprofit organization. I know that the Parks Board has oversight of the zoo as well as JMZS. So I was very comfortable walking into this project. And Canopy is based in Philadelphia, but we have team members all over the country, and I'm remoting in today from Washington, D.C. So my plan for this evening is just to give you a very high-level overview of the zoo's new 5-year strategic plan, which, as you can see here, is called Wild Growth, Rooted in Community, Growing for Generations. This overview is just part of the bigger plan, which Ellie can certainly share with you if the board hasn't seen it already. It's a fully designed document supported by a lot of internal working documents. So very briefly, going into this project, we quickly learned that there were really four challenges that we needed to solve for. The first was the physical transformation of the campus because of flood mitigation, as well as the new exhibits that are going in, maintaining and renewing community support during the construction, completing a multi-million dollar capital campaign, and ultimately achieving long-term operational and financial sustainability. So the strategic plan that we developed with the team really outlines how we will approach these commitments and emerge with a new zoo within the next 5 years. So within this, you can see in this infographic that there are four focus areas: engage, inspire, partner, and give. And each focus area has between 2 and 4 big picture goals, each of those with their own set of specific, measurable, and actionable objectives. This document is really meant to be a snapshot of the full plan. Logan, Chelsea, and the team, as I said, have a bunch of internal working documents that outline the objectives, timelines, tactics, KPIs. So they really are set up for success over the next several years. This document, however, as a snapshot, is really meant for when Logan, Ellie, the development team, or grant writers share it with a stakeholder, they can have the conversation and really whet their appetite and get them excited. I will say that because the zoo's team is so small, I had a really great chance to work with every single person on the team. Canopy's approach is really about engaging both internal and external community. So I had rich opportunity to chat with the staff, really understand their desires and interests, and I'll share a little bit later about some of the external stakeholder interviews and engagement that we did as well. But we also had folks from Minot Parks on the team, and they brought really great experience and perspectives as well. So I'm very briefly just going to walk you through these four goal centers. Engage really focuses on improving the on-site and virtual experiences that connect our guests with wildlife and cement the zoo's role as a really beloved community gathering place. So the four goals are around designing immersive experiences and spaces that encourage discovery and awe for wildlife, expanding the on-site programs and experiences, so everything from public events to the unique animal experiences that the staff currently offers. We'd also like to work on improving seasonal amenities to encourage year-round visitation. We know that it is a year-round zoo, but as you well know, the cold is the cold and the hot is the hot, so we'd like to try to even that out a little bit for guests so they feel comfortable year-round. And then finally, expanding the market and reach and the digital presence to reach broader audiences. If time allows, I'll share a little bit about some of the quantitative data that we dug into to really help us understand who the market is and what the market potential is. Our next goal, or our next big impact area, is inspire. And this really outlines the zoo's plans to amplify the impact of statewide conservation education. So you can expect to see in the future new and enhanced on-site school programs that inspire empathy for animals and motivate these pro-environmental behavior changes that all zoos and aquariums strive to create. You'll see a new approach to the outreach programming and a renewed effort to shape the next generation of conservation educationists, conservationists, through programs that really focus on skills exploration and career pathways. In particular, we're looking to expand the Zoo Teen program to really make it less about volunteering for the zoo and more about really understanding what skills, expertise, and passions you need to be a conservationist anywhere in life. Our third big impact area is partner, and partner really focuses on nurturing the relationships with the people, partners, and businesses throughout Minot and beyond that support wildlife in the community. So we have just two goals here. One is to center on bolstering community relationships, and those are the types of relationships that really fuel mutual growth. So the zoo wants to have a lot of reciprocity, a lot of just really great teamwork all throughout Minot and beyond. And then our other goal is around celebrating the unique communities, cultures, and heritages that contribute to North Dakota's wildlife conservation story. North Dakota has such a unique and special conservation story throughout the United States and within zoos and aquariums. And we think it's really important that we take a holistic approach to celebrating not only the animals, but the people who are a part of this conservation story. So we're looking forward to digging into that a bit more with partners all throughout the state. Our final impact area is give, and this really focuses on building a culture of generosity and welcoming supporters that will help support the zoo's mission and legacy. And there are many ways that you can support and give to a zoo. One of them, of course, is through donors and grants, philanthropy that can help us to build that really strong financial base that we need. But the other way that folks can give to the zoo is through their personal support. So we're looking to build healthy support systems for the zoo, including enhancing the volunteer corps and improving staff retention. You know, the longer people serve at a zoo and aquarium, the stronger it gets. And so we know that we have a young team here, and we know that we have a passionate team, but we want them to stick around. And we know that volunteers not only help support the zoo, but they're really great community ambassadors. And so that's another way that they can give. So altogether, this really sort of surrounds Roosevelt Park Zoo in those four big challenges. And I'd like to, since I have just a few more minutes, I'd like to walk you through the process that brought us to where we are. So Canopy uses Placer AI, which you may or may not be familiar with. At its core, Placer AI leverages our cell phone technology to provide market data. Canopy uses census data and then builds sort of a market and audience profile using the census data, the Placer AI data, organizational data like attendance and financials. And then we really sort of come together with this robust set of data points that we can use to make decisions. So this is just a snapshot of all of the work that we did, but I thought that you at the Parks Board would find it particularly interesting. So first we looked at our visitor origins, and the visitor origins are all of these little blue dots represent one visit, and the rings represent 30, 60, and 90-minute drive time radials. So what we learned is that the zoo has a surprisingly strong core right inside that 30-minute drive time radial. But what we weren't expecting was what a strong core there also is down from Bismarck. Bismarck has their own zoo, so that means that people are coming up to Minot to visit the zoo. And then, of course, we did expect to see some of these darker blue areas, like around Williston to the west. And so what this says to us is that you have pretty broad visitation from North Dakota. We actually have an even bigger map that shows where they come from all over the United States, but we really wanted to look at this. So surprising to us. Then we dug a little bit deeper into that data. We can go hyper local all the way down to 0 to 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and as you see, up to 90 plus minutes. And so what we learned is that it is a hyper local audience for the most part. The guests are coming primarily from 0 to 20 minutes. But again, there's this surprisingly strong 90 plus minutes. And so what that said to us is that there are marketing and outreach efforts to Bismarck and to those other population centers that we can leverage in order to increase attendance, increase community engagement and outreach. And we also think that some tailored tourism partnerships with Visit Minot or NDNTA can be mutually beneficial and really help us to increase our attendance, increase our reach, amplify our mission. So then we looked at annual attendance. And we looked at for the past 5 years. And, you know, 2020 was a terrible year for all cultural institutions because of COVID. But 2021 was very, very good for cultural attractions that were outdoors, so especially zoos. And you see here that Roosevelt Park Zoo is no different. 2021 had almost 116,000 visitors. We know that the zoo can support that many visitors when it is at full capacity, and that's what we'd like to get to. We think that's a really comfortable number for the zoo. So you see that there's gradual declines, and we know that that's related to construction and to flood abatement. But once that's all done and complete, and what we expect to be about 2028, we really want to get back up to that 116,000. So we know that by adding things like new exhibits, exciting amenities, family-friendly events, special experiences that bring people and wildlife together, and improved concessions, all of that contributes to getting folks to coming back to the zoo time and time again. So this is one of the levers that we'll need to pull, not only to become more more financially sustainable, but to be an even better community resource. And then finally, we did match our quantitative data to qualitative data. As I mentioned at the start of this, we spent a lot of time talking with community, both internal and external. We interviewed several stakeholders, primarily partners, donors, and supporters, who could provide us with insights into the perceived strengths, challenges, and growth opportunities for the zoo. We also held a community roundtable with representatives from Visit Minot, MDNTA, local schools, and GMCS members, just to better understand the community needs, their desires for the zoo, and potential partnership opportunities. So what you see here is sort of 4 big areas that we learned about, and together, this really gave us the qualitative and quantitative data that we needed to have clear areas of focus for the plan and a data-driven path forward for the team. So finally, just want to say thank you for the many people who contributed to this plan. The zoo staff, Ellie, Jared, community members, supporters, Minot Parks Board, and GMZS all had a hand in creating this strategic plan. And so with that, I'd just like to say thank you. It has been just an incredible honor to work with this small but mighty team. Logan, Chelsea, Ellie, and Jared have been really incredible thought partners and leaders throughout this process. And I feel really confident that the zoo has a really bright future ahead of them with this team and this plan helping to guide that team. So with that, I will say thank you. I will end my slideshow so I can see your faces, and I will take any questions that you might have.
Is it, sorry, my name's Perry Olson.
Hi, Perry.
The breakdown where you said there's whatever, 40% are right around Minot, but then close to 40% are from a long way away. Is that uncommon or is that common?
It is more common in places like North Dakota, where there are broad swaths of low population densities populated by sort of pockets. We were surprised at how high the 90+ minute visitation was. We know that North Dakota has a really strong tourism culture, and that the NDNTA, Visit North Dakota, they're really good at cultivating tourism to North Dakota. So we were surprised, but once we dug into it a little bit more and tried to understand the why behind that, it's not as surprising. Places like Washington, D.C. isn't a good example. Places like Philadelphia, the visitation is almost exclusively from like sort of 90 up to 90-minute drive time radial. And then we would expect to see things like for the 250th this year, a much bigger influx of farther away, but they're more of like a 60-minute community zoo. So it just depends on the location of the zoo, but we were surprised and really happy to see that high 90-minute visitation.
I got a question. This is Mike. Kind of the same lines with that information with the cell phones. Do you guys break that down to what day of the week it is or what the date is? Because I'm looking at it as like, does it coincide with other events going on in town? Like we do have a big softball event where they have time off, so they're coming to the park, and we do something to get further attendance doing that. Does it break down that specific?
It can. That's not what we typically do, but we have had additional scopes to sort of, with our clients from time to time, to dig in even further. But yeah, it can tell us days. It can even tell us like the hours that are most popular at the zoo. And if we want to get really wonky, it can show us the visitor journey, so we can see like where the most popular hotspots in the zoo are, where are spaces that are potentially unused but have potential to be new exhibits or something like that. So that's typically a separate scope of work from what we do in strategic planning. But yes, it can be done, and we have done that for clients in the past.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Talk to y'all soon. Take care.
Thanks, Elise.
Okay. We will move on with first approval of minutes from the January 20th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Any further discussion? aye.
Aye.
Okay, approval of the bills in the amount of $1,105,445.
Bills of the same.
I'll second.
Discussion? Call the roll?
Hammer,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kirkhammer.
Yes. And approval of salaries in the amount of $309,000.
Move that for 339, 229.19.
Second.
Discussion?
Hammer,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kirkhammer.
Financials.
Yeah, I have a kind of quick overview of the 2025 financials. So, this slide here is just looking at the park versus the recreation revenue from 2022 to 25. There isn't budget on there, but we were over budget by almost $440,000. We had really good interest income on our savings account, and then our golf revenue was way up, as well as concessions. The overall dip from 24 to 25 is mainly attributed to we didn't have the pool, and then the zoo that winter. I believe a little bit of a attendance dip, but then recreation revenue just to continue to increase, which is great. On the expense side, under budget pretty significantly on several of the categories, due to we had unfilled full-time position, fuel and utilities were under, had less zoo animals, so our feed was reduced. But yeah, so we were under budget on everything except for recreation supply, which was mainly attributed to high concessions. But yeah, overall, good year, and we're working on getting it final closed and looking at audit in June. So that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
That's part of the reason that those dollars were there for the enhancements that we're doing for the parking lot and in Cameron.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Park Board President Commissioners, a couple additional notes. One thing that was listed was testing the Service Valley Golf Course set monthly start in the morning. Primary reason for the change, except for staff and public safety. This will assist staff be able to get ahead of the golfers. Golfers start too early, work completed, or way too early. Yeah, they can't see us. We not safe, buddy. What we're looking at tee times by the month, April, 2025, we did start 11 a.m. And then in May, kind of like April, later in started that's what we're looking at for May, July, and August. Starting tee times at 6:30, Monday through Friday. Weekends will be 10 a.m. September, sunrise will be 7:30 a.m. October, probably nothing before 9. That is back for other courses, because it used to be a few people jump out last summer before our tee times would start. Staff couldn't get them done safely, so we were gonna. It's a 6:30 start. That's when you gotta get up. We've all golfed early before, but yeah, too many people. Look to implement this this spring. we'll be willing to adjust if.
How you can start signage or?
Well, we may have to look to changing our gate system a little bit. I guess if somebody wants to get on, they're going to get on. But if we're out doing our work in golfer, have to have a conversation. Again, it used to be last summer it was way not good for anybody. And plus, if we don't know on the course, something should happen. Okay, then another update, the Corbett property demo, open thing by now. There was some testing on plan for that. Forward, certified inspector. Still on track, hope to have cleared out of there before baseball season. But shouldn't be an issue. Working on the two projects we talked about at last board meeting. Corbett parking lot. And today, we're going to find the scope and give us a rough estimate. Construction cost. With Cameron to look minor. Maybe March. Bring something back to the board. Then with the MI7, probably the biggest flood protection, probably the biggest update right now. Northside Zoo demo, well underway. Drive by there, the only thing fully standing was the Goddard building. So, right direction. At that point, I'll answer any questions I submit report to them. You.
Marketing, Ashley.
The only thing I have to add is we did end up hiring a Zoo marketing intern last week. Other than that, I have questions.
Thank you. Golf course, Steve.
One other thing that we're going to change this year, we're not going to have one staff member wait until all the golfers are off the golf course and gone. In the past, we've shut the gate and they've stayed out there and played in the dark, but we'll keep one person there late until everybody's gone. And I think it'll be better for everybody to have somebody present. And Eric put new lights around the building out there. It really made a difference. It's not like you can actually see it when you walk in the dark. A lot better for safety. Thanks, Eric.
In the past, was there a cutoff time for when you could rent a cart?
Yeah.
So will that change since someone will be there?
It won't change. Just in the past, we've had people out there. They felt like they've got the cart and they're out there in the dark with trees and they can't see, and it really caused some safety issues for us. So we'll still have cutoff times, but that's flexible. We kind of move it back and forth depending upon sundown.
Questions? Greens, Cammy?
The only thing I would like to mention is that Minot Junior Golf did purchase a ride-on fertilizer spreader to use at the Wee Links. I would just want to thank them for that. Other than that, I don't have anything else for my report, but I will. Any questions?
Ooh, well.
The only thing that I have to add to my report is that we have broken 1,400 zoo visitors so far this year. In February, we have broken 1,000. Just in the past 4 days, from Friday to Monday, we had over 700 people for our Valentine's and our President's Day event. So I just want to thank all my staff for coming up with all the great ideas, and I'd be willing to answer any questions that you guys have.
Bob.
I left you with a lot of bullet points, but it's mostly everyone's going to be ending here the next 28 days. So you can read through that and start checking off your calendar like I am. But, anyways, the only other thing I have to add is I met with Brian and Barb, and we're going to do a little trial run starting in March when the 5-on-5 gets going here, the third week of March, going to hour ice times with a 15-minute ice resurface instead of doing the 10 minutes as part of the hour for 3 reasons. One, teams that get off late forces our staff to get on late, and that puts the team getting on late, and it just cycles all the way through, and our staff tends to get yelled at for that, and we can't go on the ice when pucks are still on. The other thing is it gives us more time for ice maintenance. For instance, on a Tuesday in the Pepsi rink, we go from Toros to Minot State men to Minot State women to high school boys to high school girls. And by the time Brian's group gets on at 6 o'clock, you've had all those high levels with 4 10-minute jams. And you just can't get, so that extra 5 to 7 minutes is huge. And then also it will give us more time for ice to set up. We tend to, our east and Eck and west rinks with one compressor. But then the night, a little longer setup time with emotive activity and stuff going on throughout the day. So what we're going to do is when we're done, we're going to leave the doors open on the ZAM gates because I don't want teams thinking they can get on an extra 5, 6, 7 minutes. We'll leave the doors open. And then when the hour starts, we'll close the doors and be ready to go. So we'll get words out to all the teams. All right, Ryan, work with staff to them. Just because ice is done doesn't mean you get out early. And the reason we're doing it is for time of the ice. So I'm going to track it because it will take potentially 1 hour a day out because every 15 minutes over the course of a night, I usually has 4 to 5 practices. So we could lose 1 potential hour a night. So that's about $121 for instance, if the boosters are going back to back to back. I'll track and see where we are financially before we get into the next fall. Then we can stick with that or go back to what we were doing. But I think it'll work. Most towns have the 15 minutes per hour. So I think this will help with ice and our staff and also user groups will get an extra minutes in their practices. So other than that, if there's any other questions, and then the figure skating testing, as far as our staff is concerned, I thought it went very well. I guess Chelsea and Ellie were there probably more than I was, but we usually set up and then get out of the way and then are there just and yes. So I let that group and their hockey or their figure skating moms and their staff do a great job, and we see after years of doing this kind of a system down of who do what and when, and everyone had a good time, and I think over 300 skaters from around the state and region, so it was another well-attended event for them. Any questions I can answer?
Thank you. Maintenance, Eric.
Okay, just a couple things to highlight. Outdoor rinks, obviously we had some spring-like weather, so they were taking a pretty good hit. We had the warming houses closed down for a bit, but now we're hoping, we got cold weather on the horizon here. Hoping to get them back in shape and open for the weekend. Snowstorm might throw a little wrench in there, but we'll get there. We are preparing for snow and whatnot. We'll be out early tomorrow morning. Only other thing I can add is we did some demo in the zoo today. There was some lemur enclosures that needed to be demolished, so we got rid of them today and got that cleaned up. So other than that, answer any questions.
Forestry.
I have a couple things to add to my report. First thing, I'd like to welcome Patrick Schmidt to the forestry department. We hired him today, worked with us last summer, and be a good asset for us in the future. Welcome, Patrick. Second thing is emerald ash borer has now been found in Fargo. They finally confirmed that this last January, just last month. Now it's found in 2 spots in Jamestown and in Fargo. And we'd like to start getting a little more aggressive with our ash tree mitigation this year. We're going to start by removing trees in poor health, decay, poor structure, power lines. And we're going to be working with Right Tree Service and Excel to remove about 25 trees underneath power lines this year. And we're looking to remove and replace about 50 in the boulevard total this year. With no cost to the homeowner, we'd like to offer replacement trees for these streets out of our boulevard tree. And then we're also going to be applying for a grant through the State Forest Department. And we'd like to use that to remove 20 ash trees in the park. Oak Park has 6 ash trees. That number down. We'd like to see the city at about 20%. Right now we're at 30. Questions? I can.
Could have named it Ash Park.
Yeah. Doesn't have the same stuff, does it?
Well, and Troy, like the conversations that we've had about it, it's not when not if it's gonna get here. It's truly when it's gonna get here. Correct.
Yeah, we could have it in town right now, and we wouldn't even it yet.
Yeah.
Like they figured it was 5 years.
Just trying to be proactive.
Trying to be proactive. Yep, we wouldn't be doing our job as kind of forest. We didn't take action now because whoever is after me is gonna to have to deal with. Fargo has gotten down to about 20% ash trees. They actually found. So Bismarck's hitting it pretty hard this last year because they figure it's going to follow the Fargo Jamestown. Meaning, was a positive case.
Yeah.
Just letting you know that the basketball season tournaments have started. We started off with the girls Class B district last week, well attended on Friday and Saturday. And this Saturday coming up, we start with boys district, and then the following Monday, a week from yesterday, is girls region.
Um,
Park Board President Commissioners, there's 3 projects board action on. The first one is the Mesa restroom. We have the north restroom carrier pipe, a couple leaks in it that identified back in early January. As of right now, I'm going to be asking for maintenance fund dollars. Start the process of repairing those. Did submit to insurance, so I get some. Moving 2 quotes we received, one from North Star Steel with Kevin's Plumbing for $45,100. The other quote was from Rolac and Minot Plumbing and Heating, $79,850. This work will take all the toilets off the walls, break open the block walls, move partitions, move all the block wall, take the toilets off the wall, place all the carrier lines, put it all back together. Then we don't which leak Bob's ice plant in the room below the restrooms. We are going to recommend we go North Star Steel, Kevin's Plumbing, $45,000.
There's, if any of these, is what caused this?
We don't know. But lines weren't holding enough pressure to out. Released. Did contact Rolac was involved as the general director of the building. Contacted plumbing sub, asked about warranty on the pipe or 9.5. My opinion is that run or something. Those rooms, western south end, run one. We just we have, if there's other.
Is approved.
Have them ready to go by the fall, by mid-September. One thing we need to kind of hold on, the ice schedule happen. All on the that doesn't work. Ice in the Pepsi rink, so we want to be very. Once they start, it's going to be forward progress. Morted will sit down and figure out.
Hammer.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kirkhammer.
Okay. Item a little more exciting than plumbing. Skills complex play structure bid. We bids on February 12th. Had 2 submissions. One from Grandal Recreation for $668,000. With one alternate that we asked for was for additional 3-day swing set. Second submission was from Dakota Playground for $749,900. Alternate swing set for $3,006. Again, something special about this. Conditions were in place. Surfacing, so they much better for mobility. Mobility, pretty exciting to. Our recommendation is Grandal Recreation for $660,620. The base bid and include alternate for the swing set, $5,280.
I'd move approval for the Grundle bid.
I'll second.
Are these pretty much like apples to apples? Like the other one from more.
Well, again, the landscape structures, is a little more condensed. When there's an equal amount of play activity, I think the number of play activity. Landscape structures is a higher tower. With landscape structures, this one includes, Grandal Recreation. This one includes all the subgrade and rock that would go into before we do the pour in place surfacing. Dakota Playground did not, so there would be additional, roughly $60,000 to $80,000 out of our pocket subgrade.
Weren't we thinking it was going to be like 750,000? Like, is this Grandal one that's less than what we were thinking, right? Or
There
am I
is, but
making
there is,
this up?
Nope, that is correct. But there is going to be additional, like that curbing that you see around it. We don't have that factored into it, so that will be additional. And we had lengthy discussions on this with our maintenance crew and Casey, who was our playground specialist. We don't know what we don't know. So going into this, I think we'd like to have dollars in case we have to do. Was our thought process.
I mean, our maintenance, a lot of work, prepped, but curbing by this one. Otherwise, we will be exceeding what we have in dollars with the.
You're saying with the Dakota one, there was another.
We would
even
be
if it was
just easy numbers, $50,000 to $80,000.
50 would put it at 800 and now we're 130 less. Just that.
So we would recommend.
Hammer.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kirkhammer.
Okay, last item, Service Valley Golf Course roof. We opened bids on February 10th. Submissions, they're all within $11,000 of each other. Would recommend 3 bidders were Capital Exteriors out of Bismarck, 188,470, 30 calendar days complete. ELC Construction out of Minot, they were 194,800, 42 calendar days complete. Paramount Builders, 199,110, 8 calendar days to complete. You're recommending Capital Exteriors, low bidder of $188,470. 30 days. Start a project. And then they'll.
I'll make a motion to approve the Service Valley Golf Course roof. Award it to Capital Exteriors in the shared stated.
All second.
Hammer.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt. Kirkhammer.
Yeah.
I just had one more note on that. You can sit down. Just thanks to Jared for his due diligence on all of the bids, but especially on that playground bid, and Eric and Casey from our maintenance department. You know, we send Casey to these special classes for playgrounds and safety, and you know, joking with him today, like Casey goes down the slides to make sure they're safe. So it's once again that maybe the guy that you don't see in front of the camera all the time are at these meetings, but I appreciated Eric and Casey sitting down with us today and going through those opinions, because I'm not the expert. I can tell you if a playground looks really cool, but I can't tell you the inner workings of it. So just to really appreciate the staff willing to come and meet with us and share their expertise. So just a note on that. Apparently, when you know my out of office is on, that's what I'm doing.
All right.
You. Old business, Ackerman is here. Jared, any update?
Mainly the North Zoo demo. Calls have been on. They're just watching the weather holds. They'll start a little bit earlier. You know, part of March, but all weather dependent.
And they did send a drone video. I certainly watch it, or I can't. Not much has changed since the last meeting.
Thank you.
I'd like to add some Chelsea on that. I wish Ryan was here tonight, but unfortunately he's not. I would like to, I don't know how we do it, but we're coming pretty quick to the June coming with opening the pool, and then before that pickleball opening. And I guess I'd just like to make a comment that I fully expect the pool to be open in June. And if they're still doing work out there, maybe Pete can answer this or not. I don't know how we can tell them that we are going to open up the pool. We're going to open it up safely for our people. If that means making our walkway 40 yards wide versus 10 yards wide, that's what we're going to do to open that pool in June. I don't know if we can mandate that or not, but I think we have to be tough with our opening of June and also getting the pickleball courts open when the weather starts getting nice. I just like to, I don't know how we do that, but we just got to let that be known to the people building that, finishing that project up.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, we actually have Jared meets with them more often than I do, but we have a monthly meeting at 8:30 on Thursday morning, so we can certainly relay the message from the board of what was stated here tonight.
Yeah, I look back to 12 months from right now, and I was under the impression that the pool was going to be open last year. I mean, kind of had the feeling that, yeah, you know, the work was going to be done, they're going to be working, but it was going to be open. Obviously, when we went there, it was immediately apparent that wasn't possible. And from my spot on the board, I'm 100% not on board with that this year. Pool will be open for the people, and it'll be safe, like you said. So whatever it takes to make sure we get to that, we're going to get there.
We will.
And pickleball.
Yes.
Earlier.
Yep. Message received, and we will make sure we get that message. Yep.
Is there any other business? With the approval of the
Motion to approve as long as it off of park board time.
He might not get a second since he put that on there. I'll second it.
Discussion.
Aye.
Ellie.
All right. So top of my list is the sales tax ballot measure. We've already had multiple requests for presentations, so we are starting that process. And once again, just like last time, our job is getting out to educate and get the facts out there. So that, like I said, is at the top of my list. A Superfund site. We did have a meeting last week with City of Minot and the group that is working on our quality assurance project plan. That is a lengthy document. That is, the first draft is complete. So we're working on scheduling a meeting on that with EPA so we can go through it with them. And then we wait for comments on them from them to go back and edit that document. So we continue to meet and we continue to move the needle very slowly forward on that project. We do have our quarterly meeting coming up for the first of the year, the first meeting of the year with GMZS in the first week of March. As Ashley probably has in her report, we're working on summer sponsorships. She's working on the summer brochure because that is just around the corner, like we just mentioned. I've had a few meetings with the City of Minot. We're looking at some future developments, and we've had some park land dedication meetings. And then I have the liaison committee meeting on Thursday, and that's with the county, with the city, with the school board, and us as well. And then Callan has been still researching our Placer AI, and just so you, Placer, the one that Canopy uses, is actually the same that we have. So we can go through there, and those questions, Mike, that you had, or Commissioner Schmidt, that you had regarding the high level days for the zoo visitors and the time, we can actually do that now with that. Also, still really exciting stuff, and I know Cal has taken a much deeper dive into it than I have, so we'll have more reports for you coming up in the next couple months. But if there are items that you guys are interested in and you want us to pull, we can. When I say we, I mean Callan will be happy to pull those for you. So I'm still working in my login, so there's that. And last but certainly not least, we have our January Game Changer Award. So please join us in congratulating Chelsea Mahalik on being the January recipient of the Game Changer Award with the Minot Park District. The Game Changer Award is a monthly recognition program that highlights an employee who consistently demonstrates outstanding performance, work ethic, attitude, and contributions to the team and the Minot community. Game Changers inspire others, boost morale, and help foster a positive workplace culture. Chelsea's coworkers say she has transformed the animal training program, making keepers more confident, improving the animal's health. She is a leader who creates more leaders. She gives everyone the opportunity to advance and grow in their career. So congratulations, Chelsea. Thanks for being here tonight on late notice. Thank you for being a game changer for the Minot Park District and our entire. And that is all I have for my report. I'll answer any questions if you guys have them.
Okay, Commissioner's report.
I don't have too much other than I guess I'm really excited about that Placer AI. I think it can really help us sales tax ordinance coming up. I think it can really help us educate the people in the community on how much things really do happen at our facility. I've heard some comments over the last couple of weeks about how the auditorium never gets used. So whoever says that is not never been here before, right? So, but if we can start showing what that district tournament and do for the community, I think that just helps our know what's happening at the zoo as well. All of our facilities. Really nice to see those numbers at the zoo, and hopefully we can get back to 2022 year, the year after the COVID.
21.
Be good to see, but lots of good stuff going on in construction, and maybe Mike should maybe you should be the first one to jump in the pool this year. Cannonball off. So, yeah. Everyone wants to make a motion or not, but that's all I have.
Maybe one caveat to my comments on the pool being open. I know our filtration system obviously hasn't been fired up yet, so I'm very passionate about the pool being open. Flood control will not stop. Let's knock on wood that the filtration system is all ready to roll when it comes around. But I have had people talk to me about the pool, so I'm certainly passionate about that. I feel like my job here is to be their voice. I'm ready to kind of get after it with that one to make sure that we're ready to go. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Just a quick, it's always, like I said, it's always great to hear good things. I was stopped the other day by Brian Thomas. Just the small little things, how they appreciate. He had to deal with Shannon and Jared about getting into the Corbett field to do some signage. But he just was saying it's just so great to deal with these individuals. They got me in right away. I didn't have to mess around, and it was just a couple phone calls, and that's how people appreciate the job that you guys do. And again, it makes it a lot easier when they come talk to me about those things and other side of it. So appreciate what you guys do.
There's other business.
So moved.
Aye.
Minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Say aye.
Aye.
Business. Agenda?
I'd move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.